Welcome back, everyone. What an incredible 2 days of Oktane20 Live. We have made it to our final keynote, and this is a jam-packed session and one that I'm particularly excited about. This week, you've heard from a number of Okta's product leaders talk to you about our new features and new product announcements. And now it's time to hear about what's coming next in our product. So I'd like to introduce you to our esteemed Chief Product Officer, Diya, here to tell you a little bit more about Okta's product roadmap.
Thanks, Alyssa. Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us at Oktane20 Live today. No matter where you're joining us from, I hope you and your families are safe and sound. This is my first Oktane, and I never imagined that my first Oktane would take place virtually. But in many ways, this virtual conference, these crazy times working from home, actually highlights the importance of what Okta is trying to do. At Okta, we want to enable any organization to use any technology. And throughout Oktane, we've talked about why we believe that in order to do so, we must provide our customers with an identity platform. This is why we're passionate about building the world's first and only independent and neutral identity platform. To deliver on the promise of what an identity platform needs to be, we built the Okta Identity Cloud to be modularized and service-oriented with what we call Okta Platform Services. This opens the door to more and more use cases and more integrations, which then allows us to address all your challenges across your workforce and customer identity needs. The value we provide our customers can be summed up as follows. We want to assist CIOs and IT teams in their journey towards modernizing IT. We want to enable product development and marketing organizations deliver a seamless, secure, and tailored customer experience. And we want to enable CISOs to be able to adopt a zero-trust approach to security for both their workforce and their customers. What I want to do now is give you a behind-the-scenes look at how we're evolving our products and platform over the next 24 to 36 months across these areas. So let's talk about how we're assisting CIOs and IT teams in their journey towards modernization. As you can imagine, it's virtually impossible to talk to an IT team about modernization without discussing complexity. To explain what I mean, let's take an example of an Okta customer. This customer is a multinational bank. And like many of you, they have multiple different products: checking account, savings account, credit cards, mortgage and loans, etc. And just like many of you, they have tens of thousands of employees, not just at headquarters, but spread out across their branches. They also have thousands of contractors, suppliers, and partners. These contractor, supplier, and partner relationships are dynamic. They change over time. But all these people need access to the bank's resources to be able to get their jobs done. Additionally, the bank's organizational boundaries are also dynamic. They acquire new businesses, divest existing businesses, and merge product lines. To complicate matters, each of the bank's different businesses run on different tech stacks. And all of these business units and teams demand their own freedom and flexibility to be able to manage their own users, their own apps, their own resources, and their own business process. Sound familiar? But at the end of the day, it is one bank and one IT team. Now, the complexity on the customer identity side is no less. The bank sells its products to its customers through its retail locations and its digital web and app. They also have a network of thousands of brokers that sell their products. These brokers need access to the bank's resources. They have their own employees and their own business processes. So they demand the same freedom and functionality as the bank's business units do. Adding to this complexity is the fact that each of the customer-facing digital experiences actually are built on different tech stacks. Different products, different brands require different tool sets to be able to deliver on their promise to their customers. At the end of the day, it is IT that is managing all of this, many of which often cross state lines and have different data laws governing them. Now, while I just talked to you about one of our customers, take a moment to think about how many of you actually deal with similar complexity in your day-to-day lives. CIOs and IT teams everywhere are struggling to make sense of and manage all of this complexity. But what stands out in the midst of all of this sprawl is that identity is a natural control point. And a platform approach provides us the opportunity to holistically serve many of your use cases. Yesterday, we introduced you to Lifecycle Management Workflows, a no-code identity-centric platform. But that is just the start. We know we can do more to help you manage the identity lifecycle across your employees, partners, contractors, and suppliers, and we can do so in an automated fashion. To explain what I mean, let's take an example of Laura. Laura is an engineering contractor that was hired by the bank's digital team. She's helping them build their new mobile banking app. As a contractor, Laura's lifecycle is very different from a full-time employee's. She doesn't live in an HR system. IT often doesn't know who she is, and she comes and goes based on projects. Yet she needs to be able to register for an account, get approval from her sponsor, and be granted roles like contractor and mobile app project. The contractor role should be assigned by IT, and it should carry with it strict sign-on policies and provisions. The mobile app project role should be defined by the bank's digital team, and it should carry with it granular entitlements into resources like GitHub, Slack, and AWS. And if Laura converts to a full-time employee, her record must be automatically updated, along with her sign-on policies and permissions, as well as her entitlements. So how will we bring this functionality to life for you? We will build rich no-code connectors that integrates our workflows platform with many of the HR systems out there. This will allow you to customize how identity data and business processes flows into Okta, not just out of Okta. We will also model and store granular and flexible lifecycle states. So now you can trigger automated actions based on these lifecycle states. And you can do this with clicks, not code, using workflows. This is extremely important for you, especially if you have a large network of contractors, suppliers, and partners that are dynamic and need different policies and permissions in different lifecycle states. Now, in the case of the bank, as you can imagine, their policies and permissions for their engineering contractor, Laura, will differ significantly from the policies and permissions they give a contractor that helps them run their ATM or helps them service their ATM machines. We will also be doubling down on our Directories platform service, and we will enable a whole new set of capabilities for you. We will allow our Directories platform to model and store granular and flexible roles, organizational units, organizational hierarchies, as well as granular and flexible entitlements across all your resources, not just apps. Our automation processes will be able to rely on and understand these definitions. Now, think about the bank being able to automatically grant the appropriate level of Salesforce access to a loan officer versus a financial advisor at each branch. This is pretty powerful. All of this should result in less manual processes and less script writing for all of you IT teams out there. And it should also allow you to decentralize your business processes down to the line of business owner. Now, helping you with your identity lifecycle is just one of the things we want to do. We also want to help you manage the identity sprawl in your organizations. If you go back to our bank, they have thousands of Okta tenants. They have different tenants for different business units because they want to provide these business units the freedom and flexibility to be able to manage their own users, their own apps, their own resources without needing to over-permission across business lines. They have different Okta tenants for each of their brokers because of data segmentation. And they have different Okta tenants for different geographies because of data residency restrictions. Across each of these, they have a production and preview tenant. Many of you are dealing with a similar setup because you have the same complexity. And we know that for you to manage each of these Okta tenants in a centralized and manual fashion is extremely time-consuming and hard. So how will we help you effectively decentralize management? We're building what we call Delegated Administration. Delegated Administration allows you to define custom admin roles with fine-grained policies and permissions. This will allow you to empower your business units, your functional groups, your contractors, suppliers, and partners to be able to manage their own users, resources, apps, business processes from within one Okta tenant. And you'll be able to do this while keeping security high and IT teams like yours fully in control. But as a platform built for many use cases, we know that often you will still need to manage multiple Okta tenants. For example, for a multinational bank, they need different tenants for different brokers because of data segmentation, and they need different tenants for different geographies because of data residency restrictions. So how will we help you deal with this complexity? We will be making significant investments to enhance our public APIs across our entire platform. This will allow your developers to apply automated, complex configurations across all your Okta tenants all at once, and be able to access aggregated reporting across all these tenants all at once. This complete programmatic control of configuration of Okta is extremely powerful for IT automation. It allows developers to be able to automate configuration of their dev, test, and QA environments for CI/CD processes. It also allows our admins to be more easily able to manage multiple Okta tenants via script writing for automation. So for example, now in the case of the bank, if they want to update configuration across their thousands of brokers, they can write a script and automatically and instantaneously apply these configurations. They can also write scripts to automate spinning up a new Okta org with appropriate configuration whenever a new broker joins their network. It's pretty powerful. But we don't want you to only be able to access this functionality by writing code. So we're building what we call a cross-tenant account model overlaid with a control and visibility plane. This will allow you to view, manage, and control multiple Okta tenants from a single pane of glass. So what does this mean? Going back to our bank for one final time, they can now manually apply policies across all of their thousands of brokers all at once instantaneously. And they can also get rolled up reporting and visibility across all these brokers. As you can see, the Okta Identity Cloud is uniquely equipped to abstract away and reduce complexity for CIOs and IT teams managing complicated modern enterprises. But a true identity platform actually serves many use cases for many different types of users. For product development and marketing organizations using our platform for customer identity, we want to enable them to provide a secure and seamless customer experience. Now, what all you development leaders out there want to do is to innovate. You want to be able to solve your customers' problems. And this means being free to approach those unique differentiators, the things that set you apart, rather than spending your valuable resources on your identity experience. Let's look at another Okta customer. This customer is a global airline. They fly to multiple cities all over the world. Their business is flying, not writing code. So we know that their development resources are valuable and scarce. At the same time, their customers demand a compelling, personalized, and customized experience. Who they choose to build frequent flyer points with depends on how smooth their interactions are across their entire customer journey. This customer is also in a highly regulated industry, and they're being monitored for compliance of all sorts. So they must build and maintain customer trust. Through all of this, they need to continue to innovate and provide more and more compelling solutions to their customers. This is another area where the Okta Identity Cloud provides a clear opportunity and a path forward for the CTO, CMO, or product leader. Yesterday, we introduced you to the Okta Identity Engine Platform Service. This platform service allows you to be able to develop secure, customized, and extensible access experiences for both your workforce and your customers. So now you can use Okta to build frictionless experiences like progressive profiling. In the case of our airline customer, they can now deliver experiences like recommendations for seat choices or flight times based on a customer's profile history. And they can also provide optional MFA for those customers that want more security, or transactional MFA for those customers that are booking a flight or saving credit card information, etc. While this is a significant step forward, we know we can do more to help you free up your resources. Now, your marketing team knows that in order to be able to stay top of mind and connect with your customers, you need to be able to provide a coherent and compelling brand presence and story across a customer's entire journey. Our global airline wants to make sure that every time somebody thinks about buying a ticket, they think of that airline the first. Developers today spend a significant amount of time trying to ensure consistent look and feel and branding across an entire user's journey. And all of this is extremely time-consuming and challenging because it spans multiple devices, multiple products, multiple brands, multiple apps, and multiple touch points in a user's identity journey like registration, authentication, consent, recovery, access, profile management experiences, and more. But it doesn't have to be that hard. Imagine what would happen if we were to build tools that allowed the airline's development team to be able to define brand themes and customization themes that they could then instantaneously apply across every traveler touch point in their identity stack. We could even integrate these tools with their MarTech stack that is used by their marketing team. And they could set up automated workflows. So now every time their marketing team updates brand assets or changes customization, it automatically and instantaneously flows down to the different touch points in the traveler's identity journey. Developers wouldn't even need to be involved. Imagine never having your development team have to write code to bring your brand to an Okta-generated registration or logout page. And never having to do this even if you have multiple devices, multiple products, multiple brands, and multiple apps. That's pretty strong. While end users love having a personalized experience with your brand, they need to be able to trust it also. All organizations today need to assure their users that they're appropriately managing their data and privacy. Building for these ever-changing user expectations and regulatory requirements presents a difficult and time-consuming undertaking. Identity and Okta can help you here as well. We plan to build end-user consent forms, customizable user journeys based on consent status, consent tracking dashboards, and consent versioning management. And we also plan to leverage the Okta integration network to help provide you with pre-built integrations with companies like DataGrail and OneTrust. This will help you with privacy remediation flows like data deletion, data retention policies, and a lot more. All of this integrated with our Workflows platform service should be able to help you build identity and privacy-centric workflows for your customers. So now our airline can actually collect passport information from their travelers because they have the appropriate consent forms, they have the appropriate privacy remediation flows like data deletion and data retention. All of this just using Okta. Looking beyond privacy and consent, we want you to be able to integrate your customer's identity into not just your digital experience, but into the other parts of your tech stack that run the rest of your business. For our airline customer, this means being able to integrate their customer identity into their security tech stack to help them prevent fraud, into their logistics planning tech stack so that they can figure out who that owner of that lost bag is, and into their customer support tech stack so that they know who that stranded traveler is before they get on the phone with him. The Okta integration network allows us to be able to build deep integrations with the various parts of your tech stack to make identity core to each of these services. And with workflows, you can now empower different teams in your organization to be able to build customer-centric business processes. This helps you deliver a truly seamless customer experience across your customer's entire journey. For our airline customer, this means being able to deliver more than just peanuts and ginger ale. They can now deliver a truly differentiated end-to-end customer experience for their traveler's entire journey. Innovating quickly and freely building products used to be the kind of thing that was at the detriment of security. But by building an open, extensible, and integrated identity platform, end-to-end security becomes a reality. Let's take an example of one final Okta customer. This customer is a Global 2000 insurance company. They have tens of thousands of employees, thousands of pharmacists, and millions of customers in their network. The CISO at this insurance company probably has the hardest job in the entire organization. They're constantly working to keep their workforce of insurance professionals, their customers, and their network of pharmacists secure. And they're trying to do this in a constantly evolving threat landscape, all the while dealing with some of the most sensitive customer information out there. What makes their job even harder is that the security vendor landscape is extremely fragmented. There is no one vendor that provides an end-to-end security solution. So they're left to cobble together their own solutions. They have to manage multiple systems to be able to get a full view of their organization's security posture. And when remediation does need to occur, it's even more challenging because they get inundated with multiple alerts from multiple systems. Our insurance customer is in a highly regulated industry. Not only do their employees deal with some of the most sensitive customer information out there, but so do their network of pharmacists and customer service professionals. Streamlining and providing end-to-end security for these people could mean the difference between a catastrophic data breach and business as usual. And this threat doesn't just exist for their workforce. Their customers too are susceptible to account takeover and fraud. Now, the situation is not just true for insurance companies. Think about your own companies, your own workforces, and your own customers. CISOs everywhere today are battling with the constantly evolving threat landscape. In a zero-trust world, identity plays a unique role. It is the fabric that can be used to build an end-to-end security solution for our customers. So how do we plan to deliver on this future state of end-to-end security? Yesterday, we introduced you to our devices platform. Our devices platform allows us to understand the endpoint the user is authenticating from much more deeply. We can also bind devices to users to increase security. We are also able to understand the security posture of devices, both managed and unmanaged. So now, if a pharmacist tries to access customer information from an unknown device, we can do a step-up authentication. Or if a customer tries to access their account from a jailbroken device, we can deny authentication. But delivering end-to-end security requires even more. We must be able to go beyond providing authentication at the point of providing security at the point of authentication and be able to provide security continuously across a user's entire session. To do so, we must be able to better assess risk and take action against that risk. To better assess risk, we will be evolving our devices platform and our insights platform to be able to ingest signals from multiple vendors like EDR and MDM vendors, CASPs, as well as apps that track risk based on user behavior like G Suite. We will combine these signals that we collect from external sources with our device level signals, as well as signals across all of Okta's entire network. This will allow our risk engine to be able to build dynamic user risk profiles, not just at the time of authentication, but continuously throughout a user's entire session. Now, for our insurance customer, we will have a much higher efficacy in being able to detect if a claim worker's account has been compromised. And we can do the same for your employees, your workforce, and your customers as well. But understanding an individual's risk profile is only half of what we need to do to enable continuous authentication. We need to also be able to take action against that risk. Our platform, combined with the Okta integration network, enables us to limit in-app actions via the limited access functionality that we launched yesterday. Work with a whole ecosystem of vendors like CASPs to cut off blanket access should the situation call for it, and use Okta Access Gateway to cut off access to legacy applications. This means that we can actually cut off access to sensitive data within an app, terminate an entire app, or even terminate the entire session if the security posture changes for the user, the device, or the network. This is extremely powerful, and it could prevent potential data breaches and data loss for you. Finally, we plan to build security-related connectors and flows using our workflows platform. We want you to be able to automate the actions across all of your apps and across the security tools in your tech stack. This will help you deliver security orchestration and remediation functionalities, and all of it without code. So now, if your team uses functionality like PagerDuty or ServiceNow for operational management, Okta will enable you to automate alerts based on downstream risk signals. So as I just showed you, our platform services advancements in devices, integrations, insights, and workflows will truly enable us to deliver an end-to-end security experience for both your workforce and your customer identity needs. Every CISO can get on board with that, regardless of industry. Our goal is to give you the freedom to use our technology in whatever way works the best for you. This is why we've adopted a platform-centric approach to create more freedom for each and every one of you. You need to be able to have the freedom to choose the technology that best works for your business, the freedom to build delightful experiences for your customers, and the freedom to connect to any technology securely. Ultimately, everything we are doing is about you. It is because of you that we move our platforms and our products forward. It is your adoption, your feedback, and your insights that truly make the Okta Identity Cloud a one-of-a-kind identity platform. So I wanted to say thank you very much for continuing to be part of our vision and collectively pushing Okta to the next level.